Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're dialing or tuning in from. Welcome to the live stream. I hope you are having a wonderful Saturday. As I'm, I am. I'm having a pretty good Saturday. I'm excited to do today's live stream. Oh, hello, Dan, and hello, Zach. How are y'all doing? Thanks, guys. It's good to see you. I hope you're all doing awesome. Good day. Good day. Awesome. I'm gonna let people start tuning in here, and then we'll start talking about what we're gonna talk about today and show and do and all that fun stuff. Opening was sick. Thanks. I had fun with that one. What's going on? Sayab? I'm terrible with names. Terrible. But thank you everyone for joining today. If y'all have questions, this is what this live stream is for, mainly. IT career questions, anything you got, I'm here to help. There's lots of other people here to help as well. I don't need these headphones, and they're making me talk louder, I feel like. So I'm going to take the headphones off. But yeah, if y'all have questions, more than happy to answer any questions you guys might have today. But we are going to talk about something specific, which actually has to do with, AI, Skynet, our AI overlords who are taking over the world. Not really. But we're going to address these things, talk about them, talk about ways that we can actually use those tools, those resources to help us, to make us better, to make human beings better. Because, yeah, human beings, we still matter. We do. So we'll talk about how we can use these tools and all that fun stuff. So we'll dive into some ChatGPT. And I apologize in advance if that's not something you're interested in. But I promise you, this will be helpful for you. So, the new Omni model, though, I mean, all the models, though, I mean, it's been, gosh, it has been pretty fantastic. I'm not going to lie. So, let me just ask this question to everybody who's here right now. How many of y'all have concerns with AI? Like, just throw it out in the chat. Like, what are your just say yes, I have concerns. That's it. So, yeah. If you do, let me know. If you don't have any concerns, I would like to know that as well. But tell me why you don't have concerns. But I feel like there's a lot of people who have concerns with AI, and I keep saying that. I'm sorry. But yeah, I do want to talk about that. So yes, yes. All right. Well, there's a few people. What are your concerns with AI? So where are you at currently in your career, and what concerns do you have with AI? Dan, you have concerns with poorly implemented AI. That's fair. I agree with that. I'm still pulling stuff up over here on my end. Don't want to save that one. Move that over there. Ivan, no, you don't have concerns about AI. Miners didn't lose their jobs because the excavator was invented. It just made them more efficient. Just means workflow will increase. Ivan, I love the way you think. I really do. Dan, I know who you are, bro. Did you think I would forget or what? I have put your IRL name to your username. It's embedded into my brain now, and I will forever remember you. How can you go about AI as a starter? That's a great question too. Zach, you have concerns with the implications for society and the future of vocation, education, and careers. And Koala says, "For my opinion, it's going to make life easy. You want your AI UBI? Oh goodness! All right, all right. Well, so let's talk about this then. Uh, I think we, depending on what news outlets you watch or whatever, and resources that you find for your news, just in general, overall. One second. Sorry about that. Interruptions. Um, so anyway, doesn't matter like what you use for news and things like that. There's always like hype about AI in some way. AI is going to take over the world and it's going to take all of our jobs and all these things. I've talked about this many times before, and it's just simply not the case in most instances. Now, like the advancement with AI and what it's doing and what it's bringing to the world and to the different industries, yeah, we're gonna find some jobs that are going to be misplaced. I'm using that word specifically, misplaced, right? We will see that for sure. AI is a like just as a whole, right? Like artificial intelligence and like all the GPTs and the large language learning model, blah blah blah. All that. They're all mouthfuls, right? Um, they're incredible. Like they do phenomenal work. They typically they typically do a pretty good job, right? Like honestly, in all reality, like they do a pretty good job with some of the things that they're capable of doing. However, they're not entirely uh they're not entirely built out enough and um I guess structure. I don't even want to use that word. Uh I think we're a little bit what I'm getting at is I think we're a little bit of ways away from AI really kind of making a huge impact in the industry. I say that now, and like this could literally change in like 3 weeks because that's like just technology in general. It evolves very quickly, things change very quickly, and us as people who are either looking to be in information technology or who are already in information technology, we already know, or we should know, or now you will be learning that part of your journey within IT from the very start till the day you retire, you are constantly learning. That's what information technology is, like constant change and a constant learning journey. And I kind of forewarn you with that if you're new to this field and you're just trying to figure out what it is that you want to do, you're going to be learning a lot. And that's all right. Um Kind of went a little bit sidetracked here, and I apologize for that. But I don't want people to be like too worried with AI. And I say that, and somebody brought up already, like, miners didn't necessarily lose their jobs. Some of the jobs were misplaced, but miners, when excavators became a thing, like a tool, right, for them to use, it made their jobs easier. Did made their jobs a lot easier. It also misplaced a lot of people because it made some of their jobs redundant. That's advancement. Like that's what we've seen for thousands, millions of years, really, right? Like us as humans advance. Like we figured out fire and we figured out all the things that we could do with fire. And then we figured out how to make a wheel and how we could then build a carriage on wheels and transport things easier and all these different things, right? And it's like with the advancement of cars, right? It's like, all the horse breeders and farms, they didn't necessarily go out of business, right? Like they didn't stop like breeding horses and all of those things. Like the horses still had a use. It just wasn't a use for transportation anymore because it cars, right? Like we just found ways to advance along with them and figure out how we as a human species, right? Like evolve along with these different technologies and with all of these advancements. So I say this like, because I can remember early on in my career when Google was really starting to become a thing. And this is like early 2000s, right? when it really became a thing, like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing tool. This is an amazing resource. I have all of the information in the entire world at my fingertips, right from my home. Like, I don't even have to go anywhere, right? It didn't really put libraries out of business necessarily, right? Like, libraries are still a thing. People still use them, probably just to go there and use the internet. But that's a different story, right? Like, libraries are still there. But anyway, like, I remember people freaking out like way back then. I'm glad that my clickbait image brought you, Wade. It's hilarious. Yes. Hey, good to see you. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, way back then in the early 2000s with Google, like, people were freaking out, like, oh my gosh, like, this is going to be like a scary thing for people because now everybody can just learn all of these things and blah 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 blah, and then, like, with the advancement of YouTubes and all the, like, information has just constantly been fed to us with the interwebs. And now with the advancement of ChatGPTs and the LLMs and all that fun stuff, it's another great tool, another great resource for us to utilize and advance along with that. Another thing that I kind of forgot to mention that was like on my brain when I was talking about some of this stuff too, like, something like I think important to note as we're getting into this conversation of like AI and LLMs and blah blah blah. It's not always right. It's not. There's going to be times. There's going to be maybe many times for you where it's not going to give the best results. Maybe it's not going to give accurate results. But I also want to throw back to the early 2000s of Google and all of the information that was readily available there. Like, some of the results that you got there weren't always accurate. It wasn't always correct. It wasn't always the right way. And you were always getting fed different, like, blogs and other resources at the time where maybe it was a lot of opinion based or, from their experience based and they, whatever. And the point is, even moving on from Google, right? Like, you have things like Wikipedia. How many of you out there right now watching remember when Wikipedia was not a valid resource that you could use for projects and things like that within school? Like, I remember this, early on of the Wikipedia days, like, like, that's not a valid resource and blah, 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 that's changed, a lot of this, again, constant change, things constantly changing, evolving. Sorry, yeah, teachers banned us from using it. Yeah. So, yes. Yeah. Remember those days very, very well. I remember people complaining about that a lot. Everything that you read on the internet is true. That's a quote from Abraham Lincoln. He made that quote. I don't know if you know that, but yeah, Abraham Lincoln said, everything that you read on the internet is true. It's a joke if you didn't know that. The point is, yeah, ChatGPT and all that, it's going to be wrong sometimes, for sure. And just the same, you could be asking advice from a friend or asking from help from somebody. They might give you bad advice. They might give you wrong advice. That's part of, I think, life. And that's part of a learning journey that you go through just as a human. That's just outside of technology. You, as a human, have to, in your learning journey, you're going to be figuring out, like, what's accurate, what's not. And that's just part of, like, a learning journey, is like going through and validating your resources and validating information. That's something that you still should be doing, even with, like, great resources like the Googles and like the YouTubes, because, hey, there's going to be plenty of YouTube people out there as well who might give wrong advice or bad advice or tell you how to do something that's just not right. Like, that happens. Like, we all make mistakes and we all share our mistakes sometimes as well. And people see that and it creates things and does blah, 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 blah. I was saying blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. But anyway, the point is, like, when we're utilizing, the AIs and all that, we still need to validate and check our resources and, validate that information. Yeah. Verify. And that's just all part of a learning journey. y'all. Like I have to make that very, very clear. It's just like in life, you're going to be learning how to validate what's true and what's not, really throughout your entire lifetime. Just based off of information that you're hearing and etc. Um, so I kind of say all of this because what I'm ultimately getting at, and kind of what the ultimate point of this kind of stream is, um, if you are not utilizing AI right now or learning it, like, you're going to get left behind, because AI is not going anywhere and it's only advancing. And I cannot tell you how crucial it will be for you in your learning journey to start learning about all of these different tools that are available. Maybe not all of them, but at least getting some foundational knowledge in like what prompting looks like. And when I say prompting, it's like what you're feeding like these AIs and things like that. Um, or like language models, the GPTs, what you're telling it, or what you're, essentially what you're feeding it and telling it and asking it to do for you with these prompts is really trying to talk its language, like the best language that you can. I'm going like way beyond what I should be right now. But ultimately, here, I'll just throw it back. The fundamentals of the GPTs and the AIs, the LLMs, right? Like, that's going to be extremely important for you. So I've been a huge advocate my entire lifetime, I think, in IT, of always telling people to Google things. And I still think that's true, right? Google is an amazing resource. And I bring this up because I've been asked over like the last 10 years of doing all these YouTube videos numerous times from people, is it okay if I Google things? Like, if when I'm like start working in my job, like as whatever position, like, am I okay to Google things that I don't know? Like, those are real questions that I get all the time. And yes, every single IT professional that I know Googles things and figures them out via a Google search or whatever, right? Like, we do that all the time because there's an endless amount of information in IT to learn, and there's nobody who knows everything about IT. So we Google things, we research them, we validate, we verify, right? That's something that we do. Um, Chat GPT, like, I'm just gonna mainly refer to that one right now. That's the one that I primarily use. Um, that's another great learning tool in our tool belt now. It really truly is. It is so extremely powerful to help you learn new things. And the reason why I'm doing this stream is because I've been working on like this PowerPoint. And I'll show you because I'm excited about it. It's not, I call it a power. I don't know why I call it a PowerPoint, because that makes me sound like a old geezer. um, I'm working on these slides so that I can like do an actual presentation and show you guys how to really kind of, especially for people out there who are new to IT, the best ways that you can kind of take advantage of ChatGPT to help you in your learning journey. So let me figure out how to share this window right here. I mean, how do I do this? I don't want that background. That background is very colorful. Hold up. No, I don't want that either. Can I just remove the background? Is black better? I don't know. I'm sorry. I should have configured this before I started the stream. Anyway, that works. That's fine. Anyway, here's what I'm working on. Pass every cert exam. But literally, like with ChatGPT, it's going to make your learning journey so much easier. So much easier. So literally taking any single multiple choice based certification and utilizing ChatGPT to learn, that information that's within that exam. So CompTIA is going to be, the biggest one that I will highlight here with this, because CompTIA, they make it really easy to feed ChatGPT and to utilize it as like this resource. So I will show you this here real quick. I'm going to share a different screen now. Let me share. I need to share it as a window. Okay. I don't even know what all my previous 30 days are. I always have some crafty things in here. Anyway, I'm going to show you this all real quick, right? Because I get super excited about this kind of stuff. Anyway, let's say that we want to take our Security Plus exam, right? And we want to study for our Security Plus. Hit any bad prompts? Oh, yeah, I was making sure I didn't have any. I have this other project. It's not anything bad. It's just, yeah, that sounds bad already. It's not a bad project. It's just people would probably give me crap about it. That's all. And anyway. Yes, Wade. I was utilizing ChatGPT to help me figure out the saying or the quote thing that I was going to use on that image that we created for you. So yeah, ChatGPT was actually, I think ChatGPT wrote most of what that saying was on that image, honestly. Or it came up with like, I think I only had to change like 2 words in it, but it was like, yep, that's exactly what I wanted. It was cool. Anyway, CompTIA Security Plus exam objectives. And let's see. So I want the PDF. I don't even, what's the newest one? I don't even know. It doesn't matter. I'm just showing you this for now. And in the presentation that I will do, I will I'll actually have like the resources for you. Anyway, we want to get the PDF 701. Yeah, 7, whatever. 601's fine. We're just going to use this for now because, for the presentation thing that I do, I'll use like the real resources. But anyway, this is just example. We can go out on the Googles. I could. I'll do it. I'm sorry. I won't be lazy. Security Plus 701 exam objectives is there. Oh yeah, we need to do PDF. Is this going to give it? Yes. Okay. Here we go. Close all that out. So we want to study for our Security Plus. It's a pretty big exam. It's and I chose the Security Plus here because it's probably the best exam from CompTIA. If that's like the only one worth your money, honestly. If I wanted to study for this, right? Or if you want to study for this, that there's like a bajillion freaking resources out there already, right? So there's Professor Messer, which is the absolute like best resource that you can use to study for any CompTIA exam, or mainly the trifecta. I think that's all he covers. So CompTIA A plus, Net plus, Security plus. If those are exams that you're interested in, Professor Messer out on the YouTube, that dude is the GOAT. And it's all free. It's all on YouTube. Watch his stuff. Make it like 2 times speed though, because that dude is dry AF, and you want to speed that up, and it'll be great. But it's really good information. And then there's other resources, of course, for your Security Plus, like IT Pro TV. I keep wanting to say this one company, but I don't want to say them because they're terrible, and they start with a C, and it's not. Yeah. Oh, but CBT Nuggets, I'm sure they have like Security Plus stuff on there. That wasn't the company that I was originally thinking of. But anyway, tons of great resources out there that you can sit down, watch videos, follow along, whatever. It's all great information. But we can make this better. Like, we can make our learning experience even better. We could take and download this PDF and decent. Why can I download the download? Here we go. Download that to my desktop. We could download this to our desktop. I'm not going to go into all of the prompting for ChatGPT in this live stream right now because I'm giving you examples, and that's kind of what I'm working on in that the slide deck that I'm creating is what the prompts should be because there's so many different ways that you can prompt ChatGPT. But anyway, we can once we download that PDF, we can then go to wherever the heck we save that to. And you guys can't see any of this where I'm browsing to, but you guys should know where you downloaded that PDF. So anyway, we can start a prompt with ChatGPT, whatever, with GPT and say, I would like help studying for my Security Plus exam. I will give you the PDF of the exam objectives. Can you analyze and store this information for me so that we can build study materials together? Then again, like so many different ways that you could like prompt ChatGPT. There's so many like I think experts out there who are really really good at coming up with like good prompts that work the best, right? I can tell you based on like my, I would say, limited knowledge of like prompting, ChatGPT always does a phenomenal job. Like I don't ever try. And first, I should always like stress this too. Please don't try to break ChatGPT. Like, and if you do try to break ChatGPT, use like a completely separate account for that. Just use it like you're supposed to. Don't make it try to say things that it shouldn't, because then you're just going to have a bad experience all of the time. But anyway, the way that I prompt I've been prompting ChatGPT, I haven't had any issues. It's been pretty good to me. So that prompt works. I'm going to give ChatGPT this PDF now. So memory updated. That's great. Woo! And here it's gonna tell us all about the different domains of the Security Plus right now. That's great. Look at this. To start, we can focus on creating detailed study materials for each of these domains. Let me know which domain you'd like to start with, or if you prefer to work on a specific section within a domain. That's great. That's awesome. So now we can actually refer to each of these domains. And if we wanted to go back to the PDF, we can see here. Here's the first domain, general security concept. Second domain is threats, vulnerabilities, mitigations. And you can see here it's taken that information and stored it there. It's great. So now what? Right? Now ChatGPT has this PDF for the CompTIA Security Plus exam. I can now say or prompt ChatGPT in many different ways to help me learn this material. And this just keeps like, compounding is not the right word here. I'm like expanding, maybe. Expanding probably is right, because you could just keep diving deeper and deeper into things and have it explaining things so much. So let's do this. All right. I'm going to go back to this because I want to look at the domain 1.1, compare and contrast various types of security controls. So we can actually say, can you compare I'm just taking it word for word at this point, and like this is on the fly here. Can you compare and contrast the first section of the Security Plus? We'll say, well, actually, can you contrast the information in section 1.1 of this material? I'm curious what it's going to do for this. I've never prompted it in this way before. Never used that prompt. I was just curious based off of reading this, more specifically compare and contrast. Based off of that terminology right there, I was just curious what ChatGPT would feed me if I said, hey, compare and contrast this first section. So let's see what it does. Categories of security controls, technical controls. So it gives a definition, gives some examples. Managerial controls, definition, examples, operational controls, physical controls. All right. So yeah, so it's breaking it down. It's telling you gosh, purpose, examples. That's great. It's explaining again. So the categories were technical, managerial, operational, physical. Control types: preventative, deterrent, detective, corrective, compensating, directive. So now we're again, I said, hey, compare and contrast these things. Now, hey, if we want to dive deeper into one of these things, let's see. What if we wanted to compare and contrast fire? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to dive deep into that right now in this stream. Again, that wasn't like a typical prompt that I would use, but I really wanted to try it out. What I would typically do is, like, as I'm going through a lot of this, like the study material, and again, I really have to emphasize like how important it is to utilize resources like Professor Messer, or IT Pro TV, something like that, along with ChatGPT. Because what I want you to do after every section that you go through, so let's go to Professor Messer here real quick so I can show you. Professor Messer. This is this dude's channel. I'll put it in the chat. And what's up, Zen Monkey and Bearded IT Dad? How y'all doing? So yeah, here's Professor Messer's YouTube channel. Oh, he changed up his background or something? What's up, dude? I haven't seen you in a hot minute. Dang. Like, it's starting to look a little different there. Oh, I wonder what he did here. Anyway, he's gonna have playlists for I guess it's just gonna be this whole one right here, probably. Is this a playlist? Yeah, cool. So here in right here in this second video in this playlist, security controls. You could like watch this video, right? Maybe there's other materials that you're utilizing for your studying. But now what I would do, this is what I would typically do, right? If I wanted to learn this material from that section, domain 1.1, say, please give me 10 example, 10 multiple choice example questions for section 1.1. This right here, I think, is one of the most important pieces to your, like, the puzzle that ChatGPT is going to help you with. Like, this is the highlight essentially of this entire stream. Like, this is it. Like, everybody struggles with the CompT exams and trying to understand like the questions that are going to be on there, trying to understand that information. Utilize ChatGPT to constantly feed you multiple choice questions based on all of the different domains in this exam. And if you don't understand something about one of these questions, right, you can ask ChatGPT to break that information down for you further, right? So let's see. Please give me wait, I think a lot of times in the prompt, it'll actually say if you would like the answers or something, like to let it know or something. But please give me the answers for questions 1 through 10. All right, so which of the following, I'm going to read this one here. Which of the following controls would include measures such as IDS, IPS systems, and log analysis? Answer B, detective control. Zen Monkey, I kind of talked about the concerns with the GPTs and stuff earlier on in this video. Anyway, sorry, I have kids yelling and trying to hear what they're yelling about. Anyway, so that was for question 10. These were all the different, or these were the multiple choice answers that it gave. And the answer was B, detective control. So you could ask even ChatGPT, I can't even talk. Sorry, kids yelling are throwing me off now. Can you explain in more detail information about question 10? This is like one of the best learning tools ever, right? I'm telling you, it's only going to get better. That's the thing, Zen Monkey. Like, this is only going to get better. It's it's only going to improve. Just like Google improved throughout the years and YouTube like improved throughout the years and the Wikipedia improved throughout the years and all that, right? All everything that I just mentioned is like those are all resources that could still at some point potentially give you false information or information that is not correct. And still is ultimately up to us as human beings to verify all the information is correct. And you sometimes have to utilize multiple learning resources to validate information, but that's just part of a learning journey. That's part of what you go through in life. Um, Again, going back to this though, if we had problems with a question that was on, the chat GPT gave us as an example here, right? We could break it down further for us, explain in more detail information about question XYZ, explain in more detail IDS or IPS. Um, Give me 10 other example questions. Like, give me 5 other example questions about IDS and IPS as they would relate to the CompTIA Security Plus 701 exam. Like I don't know if y'all see like the potential here, like the power that this actually has to help you in your learning journey. But this is just incredible. It's an incredible way to continue to break down information for you and help you learn. Now you can of course have it give you more than 10 questions, more than 5 questions, more than 10 questions. I think you could do, like, I would say it's safe to do up to like 30 questions or so at a time. But you can start utilizing this as a resource to continue to learn more about the Security Plus. It's going to help you pass the exam because you just keep like going at question after question after question, multiple choice question after multiple choice question, because that's all that's on there. Right now, what else could you do with like the information that you have? Because we fed it this PDF, we fed it the 701 exam objectives. You could say, can you create 100 flashcards that cover that cover information in the security can't type security plus 701 exam? ChatGPT is going to help us learn and then be like, but I'm going to be doing this job now. Yeah, no. So it's like still at the end of the day, like especially in IT, right? IT, we do work with computers, but one of the things about IT, we work with people, and it's still going to be many, many years before ChatGPT can think. And this is no offense to us or anybody, and I don't know if this is going to be worded properly, but it's going to take many years for ChatGPT to think as stupid as we do, right? It's going to take many years for ChatGPT to dumb itself down enough to understand how humans operate. And what I mean by that is, it's like if you've never worked in IT before, yeah, if you never worked in IT before, you would just be incredibly surprised by all of the different like issues that you end up running across. Uh-oh, yeah, continue generating. See, that can't give it that many responses or that many things to do. I should have just stuck with 50 or 30, like I said earlier. But anyway, yeah, if you've never worked in IT, you'd just be surprised with the types of issues that you come across just from people. Like people creating issues because we're humans and we just do, everybody does things differently, and we all operate differently and go about stuff in different ways than one another, and that even comes down to computers, right? It's just like you would be incredibly surprised, like the weird stuff that you see that we do as humans that just cause technology to not function properly. So when I say like it's going to take many years for ChatGPT to dumb itself down enough to like think like a human. Like that's why, because it's like I couldn't even like describe to you like how some of these users come across some of the issues that they have, but it's just like there's no Googling that would ever fix that or find the answer to that solution, right? It's so stupid, you know. Um, so yeah. Anyway, we're a ways off from ChatGPT taking a lot of jobs for sure, especially within IT, because yeah, we have to, as IT professionals, we're often, in most cases, like just across the board, like that barrier between like other humans and technology. So we'll always be needed. Yes, this job would be great if it weren't for the effing customers, right? Yes, if my users can't Google something, this is so true. Like if they can't Google something, they sure as hell won't get it with AI, right? So like you could literally like think about like the GPTs and all this fun stuff as like, the new Google for us. Because your end users aren't going to do it. They're not going to utilize it, and even still, like they might not utilize it in the way that they would need to figure out solutions because their brains don't think like that, operate like that. They're not technical. They may not know how to, you know, they just may not know how to do like prompt it in the right way and whatever. And there's so many different possibilities, right? It's just humans. We're dumb. Okay, we are. No offense to anybody. Yeah. So, anyway, going back to what we're talking about today. Um, the other great thing that we can have ChatGPT, this is great for people who love flashcards. Have it create flashcards for you based on, that exam, whatever exam that it is. Have it have create flashcards based off of, a specific domain within the exam. Right? Give me, 30 flashcards for domain 1.2. Scroll down. Let's, give me 30 flashcards for domain 5.1. Give me 30 multiple choice questions for domain 5.1. When you start going through those questions, when you start going through those flashcards, right? So let's just go back here. I'm going to do create 10 flashcards for domain 5.1. So, what is the purpose of an acceptable use policy? To define the acceptable and unacceptable use of organizational resources and outline the responsibilities of users. I picked a terrible one. Is this all? Yeah. Why did I choose that one? It's so boring. This is like, where's the team Simply Cyber at when you need them? This sounds like stuff that you guys would love. Where's Jerry? We need Jerry to talk about that stuff. It's boring. All right, here I'm gonna do 4.9. Give me 10 flashcards for domain 4.9. There is so much info in the CompTIA in their stuff. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Anyway, so for domain 4.9, give a scenario, use data sources to support an investigation. That's fun. Log data, firewall logs, app logs, endpoint logs, OS specific security logs. It's cool, right? All right. So, what is the primary benefit of using automation in security operations? Efficiency and time saving by reducing manual tasks and speeding up response times. That sounds right. Define orchestration in the context of security operations, the automated coordination and management of security processes and tools to improve incident response and streamline workflows. Cool. This is great, right? This is cool. Like this is all right. I'm like thinking about this next step here, like the next thing that I want to talk about, because I think this next piece again is incredibly. It's just so. I have fun with this, y'all. I'll just kind of scroll. Like I don't think I have anything too bad in here. I don't know. There might be. I utilize the GPT all the time. This next part, though, because with the CompTIA exams specifically, all of them. None of them are hands-on, right? Like there's it's all multiple choice exam. All of the training that's out there, except for I think for like maybe what the A plus and stuff, has maybe there's some lab resources out there, not from CompTIA, but I'm sure they'll be changing that with test out. Anyway, how do you get hands on with this stuff? Like, how do you actually learn, some of these things? Like with you putting your hands on the keyboard and figuring this stuff out. So, uh, give an example scenario to let's see, review OS security logs. Let's see. So, give me an example scenario that would help me learn how to analyze Windows OS security logs. Rynan, so CompTIA bought test out. So I'd say like I'm interested to see what's going to happen with CompTIA once they actually kind of launch something with that. They haven't done that. Hey, Beard IT man, Bearded IT Dad. Sorry, I can't talk today. It's good seeing you, man. Take care. Whew. Anyway, interested to see what CompTIA is going to do with test out and all of that. My biggest issue with freaking CompTIA, they're so expensive. Anyway, so if we wanted to learn how to analyze Windows OS logs, because that's something that's within domain 4.9 OS specific security logs, let's have ChatGPT give us a scenario, right? Like it's going to break it down in a scenario. It's going to give us a background. You are a security analyst in an organization. Recently, there have been reports of suspicious activities on one of the company's critical servers running Windows Server 2019. Your task is to analyze the security logs to identify any unauthorized access attempts and take appropriate actions. Steps to analyze Windows OS security logs. Accessing security logs. Open Event Viewer by pressing Win plus R, typing Event Viewer, and pressing Enter. I just have to like pause here for a second because I don't. Is there anybody in the chat like who like understands like the power of this now? Like, please let me know. Like, do any of you kind of like if you've seen me like break down some of these things for you to help you in this process? Do you see how powerful this can be to help you learn? Like, that's what this is all about. ChatGPT ain't going to take your job. It's going to help you learn your job. It's going to help you be better at your job. Like, that's what this is going to do for you. It is an incredible learning tool. So please take advantage of it. So anyway, yeah, like now I can, spin up a server 2019 VM. I can go in and start looking and filtering through security logs. I can start to learn how to do these things from this. Like, look at I don't even know what to say at this point, right? Do you all understand? Like, if I hope I'm not just like talking into the abyss here, or sounding like I don't know what. I I don't even know. But this is incredible. Like, this is incredible. You could do this with all of these different sections within any of like, CompTIA exams where you get the exam objectives, right? Once you're going through and you're learning this material, again, like, CompTIA, of course, provides learning material, like videos and all that stuff. It's incredibly expensive. I don't recommend it because of that. But, Professor Messer, free resource. You're going through watching those videos. There's going to be a lot of information that you're going to be learning where you'll understand, right? You'll pick up on, you won't have any issues with, you'll remember a lot of that information. It makes sense to you, but as you're going through, other materials, some of it won't make sense to you. Some of it's going to be confusing. It's just going to be, more difficult for you to learn. And, like Professor Messer, for instance, right? He's not always, he may not be able to break that down for you further, right? Like all of those videos are recorded. So it's not like you can ask Professor Messer, hey, can you break that down further? Because like I didn't understand the way that you explained that. And it's the same with IT Pro TV. It's the same with all the CompTIA material. It's all recorded material. You can't ask questions. You can't figure out that information further. Often they may not give you additional resources to learn about that specific thing more. Like let's say for instance, oh goodness, um, yeah, encryption, right? Like that's it can be very complex and hard to learn, right? You could learn about you're going to learn a little bit about encryption in Professor Messer's material or in IT Pro TV's material, but it might not dive completely like all the way into it. Or maybe the way that Professor Messer explains it or IT Pro TV explains it or even CompTIA like explains it, like it's just not clicking with you, right? It's not making sense. And it's very difficult sometimes to reach out to like these people and say, hey, I didn't understand that. Could you explain it more? Could you explain it further? Explain it differently, right? You might not have that availability. But with ChatGPT, you have that availability. You have that option. It'll break down all of this for you even further. It's like, I want to learn more about encryption. Give me 10 example questions about encryption. List all the different types of encryption methods, right? Give me 10 flashcards about encryption. Um, Give me a scenario about encryption, right? Um, give me a project where I could learn encryption, right? So, what kind of project could I do to learn encryption? It's gonna come up with projects. I mean, this is advanced, right? I, if you're studying, this is a bad one that I probably should have chose. I went with, but like for your Security Plus, if you want to be Security Plus certified, you wouldn't necessarily need to like do this, right? Like you're not going to be expected to really dive this far into encryption. But if you were interested in encryption and wanted to take your learning resources further, you could use this. Yeah, I just develop an encrypted messaging app. Yeah, it's a piece of cake. Yeah. Secure file sharing system. There you go. Maybe that would be a little bit easier, right? But let's maybe find a different one that's not as difficult, right? Uh but I don't know. I hope you guys get the point. You guys have any questions about this, what I went over so far? I should stop, take a little bit of break, take a breather, because I'm all amped up. Like I'm excited about this. And I don't know if yeah, I'm very excited about like all these possibilities here. So I'm gonna take a break for questions. If y'all have questions, throw them in the chat. I'm looking. Black Class Wars. Awesome weight. Yeah, I lost a little bit of weight. And thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Ryan, honestly, how much of what's in these certs do you actually use on your first job? I don't know, like 10% of it, maybe. I don't know. Security Plus is the best exam, honestly, that CompTIA offers. Really, hands down, it is the best one. And I think a lot of the information, not that you necessarily utilize it on a day-to-day basis, but it would be beneficial for you on a day-to-day basis to have. But if you look at like the CompTIA A plus, for instance, right? Like there's so much information on there that you just don't need to know. You don't need to know on day one of working in IT. You wouldn't even necessarily need to know within like the first year of working in IT. And like so much of entry level IT is learn as you go and learning on the job. And there's no certification out there that really teaches you what it is that you need to know to be successful on day one in an IT job. Having fundamentals of Operating systems is going to be very, very helpful for you. Like knowing how to navigate operating systems is going to be incredibly helpful for you. Knowing ticketing systems, that's going to be incredibly helpful for you. Knowing Active Directory, it's also going to be very, very helpful for you. And then I've always said, knowing how to Google things, because when you're starting out in IT, there's a lot that you don't know. It takes time to learn. So you're constantly going to be Googling things. So along with Google, though, you're also going to be GPTing all of the things. So yeah, like yeah. Anyway, sorry. Steve, what's up, Steve? You recently finished the CompTIA trifecta. Congratulations. If you had 8 weeks to find a help desk not job, what skills projects would you focus on, considering your experience is mostly theoretical at this point? Yeah, bro. So ticketing systems, I would start a project learning ticketing systems. There's a tool or a ticketing system, an open source one called OS Ticket. Let's do the Google thing. So OS Ticket. Oh, and it is osticket.com. You can self-host this bad boy and download it as a VM or yeah, I think it is that you download it actually as like a packaged VM, if I recall correctly. It's been a minute. But anyway, learn ticketing systems, numero uno. Right. So we're gonna pull up the ChatGPT for this also, because hey, guess what? Yeah. Can you help me create a project to learn about ticketing system fundamentals utilizing OS Ticket? And then I'll provide osticket.com as a resource. Let's see what ChatGPT would do. Oh, look at that. It's going to actually walk you through setting it all up. Learn the basics, create tickets. See, for this, I would be like, hey, break this down even further, right? And I just kind of wanted to see what it would give me here. I don't, this isn't, that's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted. So, create a project with OS Ticket to help me learn the fundamentals of ticketing systems. Something like that. Anyway, excuse me. Steve, I tell you to learn about ticketing systems, and that's a great project to start with, because you're gonna want to learn how to enter a ticket. You're gonna want to learn and understand the fact that ticketing systems exist. It's a thing, and it's a resource for you as well. So as you're starting off in like help desk or knock, if you come across an issue, or you're taking a phone call, you're in their ticketing system, and whatever question comes up, you could search that ticketing system for past instances that are similar to that. Maybe it's like an ongoing issue, or like it's a frequent issue within that environment. Maybe one of the techs there, put the solution to these issues in that ticket. That's going to be an invaluable resource for you in every single environment that you go to. So every time you're in an IT job and you are doing any types of support, you have access to a ticketing system. That is a knowledge base for you. So learn and understand that ticketing systems exist. It's going to be very, very beneficial for you. The next thing that I would learn, and really very soon, is Active Directory. You can download VirtualBox. VirtualBox, yay! VirtualBox is the jam. Download VirtualBox, and then you're going to download Windows Server. Is it 2022 already? I guess I did. It says continue browsing. Maybe I looked that up before. Okay. 2022 ISO. Gosh, I can't believe that's already out. So you could download also the Windows Server 2022 ISO. It's an evaluation copy. You spin that up with VirtualBox. So you're creating this server VM. And once you do that, once you spin up your server VM, you can promote that to a domain controller. Set up Active Directory questions. I know I have a video on this somewhere. It's whatever. It's a structure. Yeah, there you go. How to set up a domain controller to Active Directory. Pow. That'd be a good one. So that's where I would start with, or you can watch this other video too. Active Directory and domain controller VirtualBox. Woo, a couple of those videos. Anyway, what you're going to do once you get the server installed there is you'll eventually promote that server as you'll make that. Can't talk today. I'm sorry. You'll make that server or you promote that server to a domain controller. You install Active Directory services, and I want you to learn Active Directory. That's like the next part of your step here, Steve. So learn ticketing systems and learn Active Directory. Those are two projects that you can start with right now that are going to be extremely beneficial for you. Like, I cannot stress and emphasize to you enough how much those projects will be helpful for you. And there's so many videos out there about Active Directory and learning Active Directory and learning about different user group, like the member groups and all that stuff, which is going to be helpful for you. Yeah. Start there. That's what I would start with. Anyway, sorry, that was long answer. Denmark, you didn't get a single IT cert until 12 years after being in the field. Yeah, I think it was like 18 years for me. That was a long time. I think I do have my Security Plus up there still. I thought I took it down, but I did not. It's expired, but I got it. Tavin, I'm terrible with names. You currently work for a school district as an IT field tech. You've been looking and going toward the networking path since there's already a network. What would even need to be done? So, I mean, depending on how large that school district is, I work for a school district. I worked for a couple different school districts, but the smaller school district that I worked for had 5 schools. So it was like three elementary, junior high, and then a high school. We had I would say he was like part-time. He was contract. So he wasn't there all the time, but he was our system administrator / network administrator. So he wasn't there all the time. There wasn't really a need for him to be there all the time. We ran a lot of the support for him, but if there was a network issue, then we called him. So, and network issues can just happen randomly at all times. That's technology for you. So, you would essentially be supporting your network if any issues come up. Maybe new devices are being added to the network and you have to set up different like VLANs and subnets and all that fun stuff. It might not be a full-time position within your school district though. Like, is there a network administrator there in your environment already? Or is that contracted out? I don't know. But anyway, sorry. It just depends on it really depends on what y'all are doing in that environment, and if it calls to have like a dedicated person to the network. So the next school district that I worked for was literally 3 times the size as the other one. It was like 8 schools, and it was 3 junior highs and a high school. The high school was the size of the entire school district that I worked at prior, like legit, massive. But we had a network administrator there. So, there's 9 different buildings, I think, all together, that were all, networked together. So, I mean, he was busy on a day-to-day basis. There's, new devices coming out of the network, monitoring logs and all that. Um, yeah, I don't know. They were they were doing upgrades fairly often. I'm just like thinking back through the years of like in the school district and what I saw. So kind of reminiscing also. My apologies. Everyone blames the network guys for everything. No, it's always DNS. What do you mean? We still live for a moment? Yeah, we're still here for a little bit. Biddle, should you switch from A plus to a different cert or just keep going with the A plus? Keep going with the A plus. What type of job are you trying to get? mean, I I definitely give CompTIA a lot of crap for sure, and I think they deserve it. But at the end of the day, like they still provide certifications that are industry recognized, and until that changes, I will still always have to acknowledge that. I'll still always have to somewhat give them credit for that. And that also means that I still have to acknowledge that the A plus is still a valid certification and it's still worth getting for a lot of people. And it's knowledge, and knowledge is power. That's a great thing. It's a pretty big school district, about 21,000 students and 32 schools. Wow. Okay, that just like dwarfs everything that I did. Yeah, you guys would definitely have like a network administrator on staff. If like at least one for sure. Like there's multiple for sure. In an environment like that, 32 schools, you probably have a pretty good technology team there. Sorry. Uh, eyes are sore. Yeah, I'm scrolling through comments, y'all. So speaking about Active Directory, when you hopped in it live, you say it's helpful for what? Helpful to learn. Everybody should learn Active Directory because it's everywhere. What about Try Hack Me? Is it good to learn and beautify the resume? I mean, if you're going down a cybersecurity type of path, Try Hack Me it's a great tool. Will it help you beautify the resume? Not really. No, not Try Hack Me. I Hack the Box seems to be a little bit more recognized. Resume worthy. I don't, if that's one way that you can help verify and validate like your knowledge, then it's going to be a good resource. Um, but it's not going to wow anybody necessarily. That's just truth of the matter. But TryHackMe is still a great learning tool. Andy Winter, you just crushed the CISA. Should I do the CISSP next? If that's what you're interested in doing, have you been working in security? Like, I wouldn't recommend the CISSP for anybody unless they've been working in security already and they're trying to go down that managerial path, or there's a specific need from your organization that you have to get that certification. Otherwise, yeah, I have thoughts. I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't look like there's a lot more questions coming in. So I'll go back to kind of what the point of this event was about today in our learning journey here. So if you're just tuning in or whatever, or just, we're just kind of going to go back to this a little bit. ChatGPT, the LLMs and all that stuff, you're great learning resources for you're great learning tools. It's a great way to help you learn. Okay. So you could go out and go to any CompTIA, exam objective. You could take like the CISA exam objectives, the Network Plus exam objectives, download that PDF. I mean, this is literally the case for all the different, like, especially like multiple choice based questions that are out there. So whether that's like AWS certs, it's Microsoft certs, it's, whoever. I don't know who else. I'm just, like, drawing a blank right now on multiple choice exams. Um, but as long as there is a syllabus that you can download, like there's a PDF, there doesn't you don't necessarily have to have that. Just makes it easier. But download that PDF, plug it into ChatGPT, and have fun with that information. So it's like you upload that PDF, you have ChatGPT analyze that, you have ChatGPT create example questions, you have ChatGPT create flashcards, scenarios, projects, so many different things, right? Like there's like 4 different things right there that you could utilize ChatGPT to to help you with your learning journey here. And again, can't stress to you enough how important creating multiple choice questions is going to be. So create. Ooh, I can't even. My fingers were not anywhere proper on the keyboard. Create 10 example questions for domain 3.2. I don't even know what that is. Where can you find that PDF? Like, you just Google it. CompTIA Security Plus exam objectives PDF, I think is what we Googled. And all these great questions. Again, if you don't understand this, right? So, which type of device is typically placed between an internal network and an external network to filter traffic based on security rules? A router, B, a switch, C, a firewall, or D, a hub? What's the answer, y'all? Right? And if we didn't know, oh, they put the answer right there. I didn't see that. Should have looked. Y'all saw the answer. I'm an idiot. Let's see. How does a firewall filter traffic based on security rules? I spelled traffic wrong, but it don't care. How accurate, effective would I rate these questions compared to the actual test? Um, that's a great question. So once this is finished, um, doing its thing here, I'm gonna try something. This is actually really cool though. Is a firewall a device though? It can be a hardware, yeah, like a piece of hardware. An appliance is what it would be. I think if we're gonna try to use proper terminology or whatever, there are firewall appliances. But yeah, so anyway, if we didn't understand like how firewall filters traffic based on security rules, we just ask it. Now it's gonna break it down for us. It's just so cool. Like I just love this. This is what this is what makes a learning experience so much better. And I just like I have to stress and emphasize this because again, like as y'all are going through watching different videos and following along through different unless you're in a live training, right? Then it's different. Or specifically with like the training that we do at Anti-Siphon, because like we encourage people to stop and ask questions. But unless you are like a live training where they do encourage that, you can't stop the video and ask the instructor questions. You can't stop anybody at all to ask more questions, right? It's like you're on your own there. Um, so unless like, yeah, I guess you're in school or in live training, it's very difficult to like figure out how to learn more of this stuff. So yeah, as you're going through your learning journey, you're watching videos, you're following along with different instructors doing things, and you don't understand something, well, you pull up ChatGPT and have it break that stuff down for you, man. It is just it's so good. So good. Oh, I was gonna do this. Give me 5 example questions worded. Wait, hang on. Give me 5. I want to try to do this a little bit better. So 5 multiple choice exam questions worded like they would be on the CompTIA exam. I don't think that's right. Worded is not the right way. Questions in the same terminology CompTIA would use on their exam. That's what I want. That's what I want. Give me 5 multiple choice exam questions on the same terminology CompTIA would use on their exam for domain 3.5. Anyone is IT without related tech degree? Are you asking, like, can you work in IT without a related degree? Like, I would say, like, the majority of people who work in IT have a completely unrelated IT or a completely unrelated degree. So let's see. I don't think this might not be worded in the same way. Which type of agreement specifies the level of service expected from a service provider, including metrics such as uptime and performance? Nope. Yeah. So the way that CompTIA words their questions is just so stupid. I think Jesse, I did this live stream with Jesse last week, I think, or the week before, his Slay Security Plus stream, and he brought up a good point, which was like, it was like 3 sentences. I think that's what it had to be. No, where's it at? Copy those. Give me 5 multiple exam questions. Give me 5 multiple exam questions. There's a way. Let's see. Use on their exam. It was like 3 lines or something is what he said. I don't think it was 3 sentences. Questions. Oh gosh, I'm like struggling with this one because I really like. So this could be an issue for you too. Like this is why, like, prompting. Gosh, like I love people who are really good at prompting and who have figured this out, because they can master and maneuver their way around the GPTs so incredibly well. Questions that are at least 3 sentences long. Try that. That might be too much. That's not bad. Not bad. All right. So a company is in the process of assessing its risk management strategies. During this process, the company decides to implement additional security controls to reduce the risk of data breaches. This decision reflects which type of risk management strategy. This is the way to do it. That's better. Risk mitigation. That was the answer. An organization has identified a third-party vendor to provide cloud storage solutions. Before finalizing the contract, the organization insists on including a clause that allows for regular security audits of the vendor's infrastructure. This type of clause is typically found in which type of agreement? Yeah. That's how I would definitely word that. This is what I was going to I showed it earlier, the slides that I was working on. I was going to reach out to Jesse to see what he said in that stream, but this is close enough. This would be the ideal way to do it. So when I actually produce like a real video for this on how to do this, that's how I would more than likely word it, or something similar to this. And I think it's important that this 3 sentences long, because CompTIA really does word their stuff so weird on their exams. but I would say that's close enough. Uh, one more question. What you got? One more question. How would I network with people in this field? Everyone says networking is the key after a certain point, but you know how to go about it. Oh my Lanta. You you are like speaking my language, friend. You're in the right place. I'll tell you that. I just need to find this video. I don't know which one it's going to be. This one might be a good resource for you. I just start with that one. That's probably fine. Did I, bruh, did I cough and not mute it? I apologize. Anyway, LinkedIn is going to be your best resource, for sure. So I'd watch that video. In there, I talk about um, basically sharing your knowledge and building your network. So don't go out on LinkedIn and try to create like, all these different connections and stuff like by connecting with thousands of people and all of that. The best way for you to actually connect with people on that platform is by sharing your knowledge. So you can start following people who share similar interests as you, who maybe are in this, positions that you one day hope to be in. That will start helping curate your feed so that when you are on LinkedIn and you see like different articles and things and whatever that people are sharing comes up, it's going to be hopefully things that relate to you, things that you're knowledgeable about. Comment on those things, share your experience, share your knowledge, and help people. And connection requests will start coming to you over time. That's really the best way to do it. I don't care what anybody says. Like, it's truly the best way. Because once you start sharing your knowledge, putting yourself out there and being helpful, people remember you and people appreciate you. And that's what it's all about. Um, yeah, I've done, yeah, there's a couple of videos on the channel that talk more about that. So utilizing LinkedIn, utilizing Discord, that's going to be what's up. That's how you build your network. Watch those videos. I hope that's helpful for you. Real world dummy. How about job asking PowerShell experience? What should we do to demonstrate that skill if you have no experience in it? Would the PowerShell basic commands cover it? Well, I would use ChatGPT to learn PowerShell and to ask, and have it go through like PowerShell projects. Give me 3 examples of uh, be beginner projects that I can do to learn the fundamentals of PowerShell. And it's going to be on point. If you really want to learn PowerShell, yeah, I was gonna glad it shows Active Directory there because I was going to say if you really want to learn PowerShell, I would make sure that you have a VM spun up with Active Directory on there, and then that's how I would start to learn PowerShell. That would be probably the best place to start is combining that knowledge of one, learning Active Directory because it's vital that everybody learn that as they're getting into IT. Most people who are working in IT really should just learn Active Directory because it's everywhere. And yeah, then learn PowerShell along with it because then you can like kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. Be very helpful for you. But yeah, dude, get in the ChatGPT, create some projects, have fun. Sam, you have a web dev degree, but you hated that field. You're thinking about help desk jobs knowing that you're good at coding. Will that help? I mean, having a degree always helps. But yeah, for a help desk job, help desk is customer service at the end of the day. You just need to know how to talk to people, and need to know how to Google or ChatGPT all of the things. So is IT, it's a rat race? I wouldn't say IT is a rat race by any means. I wouldn't say that. Yes, sir, that's exactly what you're looking for. Appreciate you taking the time to answer questions like this. It's mentally helpful if someone's just getting started like you. Yeah, I hope you have a good afternoon too. That's what I'm here for. That's what this channel's really all about. That's what I'm here to do, is help y'all. That's where I feel like the chat GPT stuff, or like whatever, the AI stuff we covered today, that should be helpful for you all. I'm going to be ending the stream here in a couple minutes. So, does anybody have any questions at all about anything that we talked about today? More specifically with all the AI stuff and utilizing like ChatGPT and all that. Is there anything else that I can, I don't know, touch on in that regard? But all those YouTube clickbait screwed the market up, you think? What are you referring? I mean, the media screws everything up, and YouTube is social media. And I don't know what you're getting at. Like, clickbait brought people here to this video today. Thanks, clickbait. I knew that would work. Sorry, Wade. Sucker. There's a lot of terrible stuff out on the YouTubes that's clickbaity and especially IT related. So I think I maybe potentially know what you're talking about, but I don't know. Andy Winter, how do I keep so fit? I don't know. I put on a couple pounds. I'm not happy about it. I try to stick to only protein and coffee and water. Lots of coffee. Yeah, I had weight loss surgery like 2 years ago. So that's been incredibly helpful. I don't eat as much as I used to. That's very, very helpful. That was the biggest thing, is that I don't eat as much as I used to at all. And then I mean, I'm trying to get back to the gym, but I also have like a bike that I put under this desk, like a bike desk. So yeah, that's it. I don't know. Real word dumb. You actually subbed? Oh, well, thanks for subscribing. Like cybersecurity jobs making 200K. Yeah. I mean, there are jobs in IT that pay well into the six figures, right? You know, the big thing is always, right? And I've seen this a lot, especially since like, 2020. Get a six-figure cybersecurity job in 6 months. How many have all seen that? Have you seen messaging like that? You can work in cybersecurity and make six figures, and all it would take is 6 months. So for like, okay, I will be honest with you, that does happen. It really does. It does. Like, that does happen. But that's because those people like know people. They've networked, right? Like that's their thing. They utilize their network and they made something happen. Whether they were successful or not, who knows, right? But it has happened. Yeah. It has. There's people that could, just talk their way through anything. Comedy. Yes, I remember you. Comedy Lizzie, you did an EKG thing on me or whatever. I'm pretty sure. Yes. I'm pretty sure that's what you did to me. You hooked me up to wires and machines. No, see, cardiac ultra. See, I knew you. People think I forget. I don't forget. I remembered you. Anyway, back to the 100K thing. Yeah, it really does not happen, y'all. It is so incredibly hard to make six figures in IT when you're starting out. When you're just starting out, many of the jobs that are paying six figures require experience, they require some level of knowledge. And when you're just starting out, you don't have your level of knowledge is like way down here, and the level of knowledge for like that job is like, it's up here. It's not like way up here. It's just like it's up here. It's achievable. It can happen. It's just going to take a couple of years to do, and that's okay. But yeah, to all the people and all like who have fallen for the 100K in 6 months, like I'm sorry. It's just like it's not real world. It just does not happen like that. You know, um, but again, I have to go back to like it has happened. Like people game the system or they network with people or whatever. Like there's just like, ah, man, I hate to even talk about that because like it's, it always gives like such a false perspective into things, and the way that social media works, right? It's like you're going to hear from those people who have done it. Like those people who have done it are going to be louder than everybody else out there. Um, but it's like not everybody has those same opportunities, and we're not all like, just the same people. So I'm sorry, I'm just like going like deep into this because like genuinely feel bad for people who see that and believe that that's like reality. And it's not that I want to give you like false hope, right? Or whatever, or like, anything like that, it's absolutely, it is 100% possible for you to work in IT and make over six figures. It's possible for everybody who's working in IT. Your path to those six figures, it's going to be different for like, you can't look at one person's path or like five people's paths to six figures and like think that's going to be the way for you, right? And it's like everybody's journey is different, and the way we all go about these things are different. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to shut up about that point because it drives me nuts. Look at Andy Winter said took him 7 years experience to break 100K. See, 7 years. Unless you hack your company and blackmail them, 100K is achievable. I mean, there are a lot of jobs in IT that pay over $100,000 a year. I saw on LinkedIn, I follow this one recruiter, and he was recruiting for a like senior application security engineer, something like that, and it paid between like $200,000 and $300,000 per year for a senior application security engineer thing. $200,000 to $300,000 a year. It's insane. But like, look at that job title, right? Senior. Typically, when you see that means it's like years. Could take you years to become like a senior in your given trade or profession or niche. But that's insane to think about. All right. Y'all have any other questions? Senior equal, you got to be 60 minimum. Not that kind of senior. No. You're thinking senior citizens. I'm not speaking of senior citizens. All right, this is going to be everybody's last chance for questions though. Because I have a birthday party to attend here in a little bit for my child. So, thank you all for joining. I hope today was somewhat beneficial for you. My parting thoughts are basically going to be AI is not going to take over the world yet. Don't fear it. Embrace it. Utilize it. Learn it. It's a resource for you. You're welcome, real world dummy. I mean, there's like quite a few people in like watching right now on all of the different platforms, and there's no questions. What are you all doing? Like, do you literally just like watching or listening? That's your jam? I mean, that's cool. That's fine. I don't expect you to respond, obviously, I guess, because you're not saying anything now. But it's just interesting. What present did I buy? I didn't. My wife bought the present. I didn't. Time to bash your head in Active Directory. Active Directory is fun. I love Active Directory. I'm a Windows guy, so that stuff excites me. All right, y'all. Close out all of that. Desperately cleaning before wife gets home. Good luck to you. I hope you get all of the things clean. I should pay back my wife then. What do you mean? Pay back my wife. She's the breadwinner. She makes more money than me. I'm just kidding. I mean, not really, but we share our dollars. It's all the same. What do I think of the CompTIA Linux Plus? I think it's fine information. Do I think it's worth anything? Not necessarily. It's good information, though. When is the next live? I don't know. Next lunar cycle. Check it. Track it. I don't know. I do these things so randomly. Like today. Today was just random. It's like, I really want to talk about this topic because I've been working on these slides. It's not even so much that I've been working on them like diligently. It's like I've been thinking about this and plotting. See you next year, boys. Yeah, pretty much. That very well could happen. You never know. Yeah, I've literally been like stewing on this topic for I think like at least 2 months of how I could present this. And this was almost like a dry run for me. So that I could really tidy up the slides that I'm creating and the presentation overall. Because I really want like the finished product of like all this work that I'm doing for us to be really good, to be very beneficial. So yeah, that's the fun stuff I work on. Why next? I said next live stream would be like the next lunar cycle. So I don't know. Next lunar cycle is next year or something. I don't know. Anyway, any other questions before I go, y'all? Otherwise, I hope you have a great weekend. It's Memorial Day. I hope some of you out there have Monday off. Um, how many of you out there are fans of Darknet Diaries? Have y'all heard of Darknet Diaries? You gonna save this live on your channel for replay? Yeah, I'll probably leave it up. That's fine. Meister, you're a fresh grad in networking. Any advice? Go network, but not with switches and routers. Go social network. That would be my best advice for you. Start networking with start building out your social network. It's gonna be very helpful for you. But I don't know. Any other advice after that? I don't know. I could give you so many different advices. Love Darknet Diaries. Me too. What job can we get with Active Directory? Isn't it help desk? Because you said help desk is customer support. I don't think customer uses Active Directory. Well, customers do use Active Directory technically because when they sign into their computer, like, they have an account within their your environment. Their account is through Active Directory. Sorry, I couldn't mute myself in time. Yeah, so every time a user is logging into their computer, they're calling Active Directory domain services, and validating things and checking things. And it's like, oh, Active Directory sees that user, and then Active Directory is like, oh, that user is part of these different groups. So when that user is signing into this computer, that user gets access to like these shared drives, and that user, can only access like these things on the computer, and et cetera, and all those types of things. I mean, that's more like part of group policy type stuff too. But yeah, the next thing that I always tell people to learn after Active Directory, that when they want to like really take their skills a little bit further, group policy. That's fun. But again, I'm a Windows guy, so I love that stuff. Love Darknet Diaries. And Sam says, Darknet Diaries, what? Darknet Diaries is phenomenal. It's a podcast. I will put the link in the chat. I ask if you guys like Darknet Diaries because I have next to me. So last week I was in Florida this past week for MSP Geek Con. It's a conference for MSPs. And my team sent me these to give out. And it's like, I love this. If you're a fan of Darknet Diaries and it's like promotion now, and I'm sorry for that. But the company that I work for, Black Hills Information Security, we partner with Jack Resider, Darknet Diaries, to do this comic book. And this is actually my favorite episode of Darknet Diaries too. I would encourage everybody to listen to this episode because it's my favorite. Yeah. This comic book is about this episode. And it's legit. It's like legit a comic book. Right? It's so cool. I'm gonna like Deb, who I work with, doesn't know this yet. That I think I told her that I took all of these. So I have a whole stack full of these. So the next live stream that I do, which I think is going to be very soon, I think we'll do a giveaway for this comic book. So it's a very special comic book because it is Darknet Diaries comic book. It's really freaking like, it's so cool to see like this come to life, first of all. And it's my favorite episode. Anyway, we're gonna do a giveaway because this comic book is signed by Jack Resider himself. So next live stream, I think we'll do a giveaway and give away this comic book for my Darknet Diaries fans. I'll send this out to you, signed copy of this comic book. It is very special. So I just wanted to bring that up and share that with y'all because I want somebody to have this. And let me pull up prompt. Oh, you can actually look at it online. Look at, there you go. So anyway, if you guys are interested in that, next live stream, we'll do that. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate y'all joining and asking questions and hanging out with me. It's always a good time. I always love doing this type of stuff. So thank you all. And I hope you all have a good weekend. And remember, always keep learning, because if you don't, well, you're not going to have a lot of fun in this career, because IT just evolves constantly. So learn, please learn all the things. Anyway.